Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us live today on LinkedIn DATAcated and the YouTube DATAcated channel. All right, this session is essentially just to give you a couple of updates on what we're up to from the DATAcated world, and also to do any live Q&As if people just want to hop in and say hello. Definitely feel free to do that. Okay, so a few things I'd like to talk to you about today are there's a book I'm writing as well as a course I'm looking to develop all about telling stories with color. And then I'm going to walk through a couple of the events that we've got coming up in April and in May. And then definitely want to talk a little bit about the DATAcated conference that's coming up. I'll just hop into the comments as you're joining. Just let me know that you're here, because I'm streaming this from StreamYard. It's can't really tell usually who's on and who's watching. So it's always a lot more engaging if you pop in, say hello. If you've got questions, definitely ask questions. I'll be here for the next probably 15, 20 minutes talking through stuff and just engaging with whoever has a comment or a question. Michael, hello. Thank you so much for letting me know you're here. A lot of times, going live, you just don't see who's on, and it can get awkward kind of talking to yourself on the computer. So when people say hello, it definitely helps to know that people are here. So thank you so much. I see people are joining us now. I'm not sure who LinkedIn user is. Sometimes it does block that. I used to be LinkedIn user. I actually had to go in and change my settings. Hello, Eileen is here. All right, I think we've got a good group on with us now that I'd love to go ahead and tell you a little bit more about color for data storytelling, as well as some other things. If you think something is interesting, let me know, because I can share links to whatever it is I'm talking about in the comments. Just let me know what you actually care about. I don't want to spam the comment section with random links if this is something that's not interesting to the audience. Okay, first I'll answer this question here from Michael. Real-time subtitle plugin that I'm using, this is actually an upgrade from StreamYard. StreamYard is this platform I've been streaming from almost since the beginning, definitely over a year at this point. And they have this new upgrade where you can have captions that are live captioning. If they're in the way, you can turn them off. Sometimes I do have to turn things off if somebody's sharing screen, because they kind of tend to take over the whole screen, especially if you're on your phone. But a lot of times it is really helpful if you're watching this without sound, that you can still following along with live sessions. All right, hello everybody. Thank you so much for joining this very random live stream. Full transparency, I don't have any calls for the next 20 minutes, so I figured let me just go live. I don't feel like working on anything else. I'll start with Dick Joy says colors in data storytelling is really an interesting area. Thank you. I personally really think so. Now, I had this idea to do a deep dive on the topic of colors and data and storytelling and design, and basically started doing some market research to see, do other people care about this topic as much as I care about this topic? And it seems like there are plenty of people, hundreds of people actually so far, have told me that this is a topic of interest, because I feel like a lot of times data analysts, data scientists, brilliant people, right? Geniuses. But when it comes to color, they either don't realize the importance of choosing the right colors, or maybe are just not sure which direction to go in. So I actually started researching, are there courses or books on data storytelling, and how color impacts that? And I personally couldn't find anything. I definitely found some books and textbooks on color theory, color psychology, some articles on design and color. But I decided to go ahead and on this adventure that will probably take me, I don't know, I'm thinking probably a year, hopefully less, to go from idea to actually having a nice, colorful textbook with a companion course to go along with it. But I definitely think that it's so important from so many perspectives, right? One is that whole color psychology and color theory and culture. But another really large aspect is color blindness or color vision deficiency. And statistics around that say that about 1 in 12 men actually suffer from color blindness, where most popularly they can't really see the difference between red and green, which to data people, this is crazy, right? we always show the rag colors, red, amber, green for status, or red, red is bad and green is good, which actually doesn't make sense in areas like Asia where red is a good thing. So definitely felt like there was a need and decided to go forward with putting this together. Now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. First, let me take a comment here. Hi, Jennifer. So Jennifer says definitely important. I'm also seeing more of an emphasis on how to emphasize color when it comes to accessibility for audiences that might be colorblind. Yes, accessibility is definitely something that's top of mind. And the other aspect we also need to consider is sometimes people print in black and white, probably less so that we're all working remotely, right? But I remember when I was in the office, a lot of times we get something and we print it to go to a meeting or print out the presentations. And not everyone has access to a color printer. So though your data story or data visualization dashboard might have looked amazing on screen, sometimes it'll end up in black and white. And a lot of times you can't even see the difference between some of those colors. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And again, like I mentioned earlier, if this is something that's interesting for you, let me know. And I will go ahead and send you the link to what I'm talking about here. So first off, I'll share this color book course waitlist. Now, as I'm designing the color for data storytelling book and course, I basically put together a quick waitlist where you can go ahead and join the waitlist. So once I have an update of either the book or the course is available to consume, you can go ahead and get on the list just so you're notified of when that becomes available. It also gives you some insights of what we're going to cover. We're going to look at color theory, how to use color intentionally, some culturally color connotations, types of colors. They're sequential, diverging, categorical. We'll talk about color blindness, colors for backgrounds, color schemes, and there's really so much more that we're going to cover. So that's a little bit about color. Again, if you're interested, let me know and I'll send the link. Okay. Michael, bring thy tablet, don't need a printer. Well, Michael, not everyone has a tablet either, right? So, but I do get it. I remember, like I said, when I was still in the office, we did have probably out of 50 people I would meet, one person was kind of attached to their tablet, and they would even say, please don't print, save the trees and send it to me, I'll view it on my tablet. I think we're moving in that direction, but definitely not everyone has access to that just yet. So, moving on, we've got, someone's asked for the link. So I'm going to go ahead and send the link right now because I want to make sure I share relevant links as they come up. And you know what? I'm actually going to join the session as me. I'm Kate Straszny, if people don't know who I am. And I'm going to go ahead and give you the link for the color book and course waitlist. Essentially, if you're interested in anything related to color, I'm going to go ahead and post it in there. Okay, so here is the color link. Here you go. All right, so let's keep going. Yes, save the trees, Michael. And David recommends to try and create 2 versions if necessary. Yes, I've actually done that. And you can save it as with the word color or black and white. Some people actually prefer to print black and white as well because I guess saving on ink or something. All right, so let's go ahead and move on from this topic because I really could spend all my time talking about color. But let's go on and talk about some events that are coming up. Now, I host several LinkedIn Live events that are free on LinkedIn Live through my own profile, which is Kate Straszny. You probably see my name on here. If you don't follow me, you can follow me there and you'll be able to join these sessions. The plan is, however, I'm going to start shifting some of my live events to the DATAcated page. So I'm going to stream a lot more from the DATAcated page here on LinkedIn. So if you're not following that page, please go ahead and do so. This way you can get notifications once I go live. The reason behind that is I'd like to have more guests on the show, and in some cases, maybe have guests go live without me. And I think it would make a lot more sense if they're doing that from the company page versus from my own personal page. Anyways, all right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen one more time and tell you about some of the events that we've got coming up. I'll just share my whole screen. It might get messy, but it's fine. So I'm going to share my entire screen. Okay, so one of the very first events that we've got coming up in April is Along with Narrative Science. It's an event that essentially we're going to cover how to leverage data storytelling to increase data adoption and create a better data culture. Now, my guests for the show are Dr. Nate Nichols, who's the Chief Scientist at Narrative Science, and we're going to have Cassidy Shield, who's the VP of Marketing at Narrative Science. Two great guys. I met with them last week to prep for the session. It's going to be a great, great session. They have this really cool new product called Lexio that basically lets you turn your data into interactive stories. So really, really recommend you go ahead and check that out. Again, if you want the link, this is like the narrative science data storytelling link. You could just ask for it in the comments. I'll make sure to provide that. The next event we've got is April 21st, 12 p.m. Eastern. And the guest here is Randy Bean, another really awesome gentleman. And we're going to talk about the cultural challenges that organizations face in becoming what we call data-driven, right? So he's got this new book that's coming out end of August. You can actually get this book as a pre-sale, Fail Fast, Learn Faster. We've got their little landing page here that you can check out and read more about that event. Definitely looking forward to interviewing Randy on this topic. It's going to be really, really informative. And then another session towards the end of April, on April 28th, we're going to interview Scott Duthie, Gonzalo Pereira, and Ryan Scorupon. They're all from Pomerol Partners. And we're basically going to talk about ClickSense write-back extension. This is something that Pomerol Partners does really well. It lets you edit your ClickSense application through ClickSense versus going into the back end. And they're going to reveal some new features and use cases. All right, so that's it for the regular LinkedIn Live events. Actually, no, in April, we also have this really cool thing, and I'll get to that at the end. I'm going to go quickly check on comments, make sure we don't have any questions coming in. And at the same time, I want to pull up something that you may or may not have heard of. It's basically called the Data Content Creators Award Ceremony. So think about the Emmys, the Grammys, or one of those award ceremonies, but for data content creators. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the page here. It's really, 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 really fun. I think it's something that Harpreet Sahota has designed in his mind, and I'm really just participating in his adventure. We're going to co-host this show. I'll go ahead and share my screen so you could see what I'm talking about. So let me share my screen. This is April 27th, and I really can't wait. Okay, here we go. This is it. So the Data Community Content Creator Award Nomination Registration Form. Basically, if you fill out this form to nominate people, you'll also pre-register for the event. And we are taking nominations and votes across several categories. So you give us your email and your name so we know who you are. And then basically, there are so many categories. So for YouTube, we have math and stats tutorials, machine learning, AI, data science general. So those are kind of like, give us your favorite YouTubers, right? Then there's some blog, your favorite bloggers. That's category 4. Category 5 is all about Kaggle. Got a GitHub user category. And the beauty of this is if you only want to nominate somebody for, let's say, Kaggle, just give us your nomination for Kaggle. You don't have to go through this entire form to submit a registration. You can nominate an author for a technical book or for popular audience, social media presence, right? Who is the top voice in data science? Who's the LinkedIn personality that you like to follow, Instagram accounts, Twitter profiles. So the winners are actually going to be revealed across all 12 categories on April 27th. And if you're interested, I can definitely send the link where you can participate and sign up for this. So personally, I can't wait to find out who the winners are. We definitely have way over 1,000 submissions so far, and I'm learning about all these new content creators that I've actually not heard of across some categories. So definitely bringing that community closer together. So The last event I want to tell you about is the DATAcated conference. But first, let me go back to comments. Oh, Shruti's here. Hello, Shruti. I loved your article. I think you posted it earlier today. Thank you so much for including me in that article. If you're not following Shruti, go check out her profile. Let me see. Okay, Shruti, you're done with the form. Awesome. That's amazing. Thank you for participating. Dick Joy, can we have a session on GitHub for beginners, what it's all about and what it could be used for? I've actually got some quick videos on my DATAcated YouTube channel. If you hop over there and look for GitHub, I have some videos on what is GitHub and kind of what is it used for. You can go ahead and check that out. Maybe it's only a couple of minutes, right? It just gives you the basics. And here David is letting you know it's for script version control. You can do a couple of other things with Git and GitHub. So definitely go ahead and check that out. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and show you some stuff about the DATAcated conference. Okay, so the conference is, again, hosted on LinkedIn Live, May 18th to 19th. It takes place 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern. We have about 2,500, I think it's close to 2,500 people signed up already. Really excited because this conference is sort of different than my prior events where we're taking an industry focus. Now, we're looking at financial services, healthcare, energy, retail, sports, and food and beverage. And basically looking at, what are the trends, challenges, tools, or case studies of how data plays a role across these industries. We've got some really, really amazing speakers confirmed so far that you can see here. And you can look at the background image for each speaker to kind of get a sense for which industry they're covering. For example, Catalina and Bernard are covering the energy industry. Ken is covering sports. Kathy, those are pancakes behind her, is covering food and beverage. So you'll hear from about 4 or 5 speakers from each industry. Here are some more speakers here. Really, really excited about hearing from everyone. And we've confirmed 10 out of a total of probably 24 or 25 speakers that you're going to hear from. Definitely sign up if you haven't signed up. We've got our sponsor, TIBCO, on here. So thank you so much, TIBCO, for supporting the event. Here are some prior DATAcated conference speakers. You probably see some familiar faces on here. But anyways, go to datacated.com/conference and you can register. It's free, and the speakers are providing 10-minute lightning sessions where you can really just quickly jump in and out and learn a lot about all of these industries. I think it's really great, especially for those starting out who, you probably hear this a lot. Well, pick an area that you have an interest in, right? And you're like, well, which area am I interested in? Especially students who are not sure what it is they want to do, but they know what they want to work with data. Well, this gives you some examples of the types of projects you're going to work with, or kind of what are some trends that they're experiencing, and what are some of the hot hiring areas. So definitely recommend that people join this. Shruti is excited for retail. Awesome. Great. I know you signed up, so Shruti, thank you so much for your support there. My personal goal, this is my 3rd conference that I'm running, is I'd love to have over 10,000 people register for the event. It's free registration, so I think it is possible. The highest number so far for a prior event was 7,100, and we were off by 2,900, but definitely hoping that we can get as close to 10,000 as possible, or maybe surpass that number. We'll see what happens. Dick Joy is asking, can we have a session where newbies, 1 or 2 years experience in data storytelling, share experience, learning pointers? Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think we can all hop on maybe a LinkedIn Live, maybe have six or 8 people just sharing their stories. I think that would be really powerful. And Dick Joy, if you want, you can join that and share your experience as well, or maybe share some struggles or achievements that you've had earlier in your career. Giles here saying it'll be good to have insight from these different industries. I definitely agree. I think I'm running this event specifically because I personally can't wait to hear kind of what's happening across these industries. And I'm planning to write an article that summarizes some of those insights, and also want to see kind of what are some of the common areas that touch on, that data touches across all of these industries. Because I know the skills are transferable from one industry to the next, but I want to see, are they facing the same challenges? Do they have the same opportunities? Do they use the same tools and software? So definitely plenty to explore. All right, I think this about wraps up my short LinkedIn live session here. I do want to thank everybody for joining. Always appreciate when people engage with comments and questions. So thank you so much for those that hopped on and joined me for 20 minutes. Happy Monday, and I wish you a great rest of your week. Bye.